Yo, what's up, everyone? I hope you're doing well. We got another movie news video today. Today, we're going to be focusing on all the box office, though, because this week, it's a big week for box office, one of the biggest in movie history, which is kind of insane. But we're starting out with Barbie. Barbie opened with $155 million in its 3-day opening weekend, and it now beat the Super Mario Bros. Movie for the best 3-day weekend of 2023. And it's giving Greta Gerwig the record for the best ever opening for a solely woman directed movie over Wonder Woman, which opened with 103 million. This is absolutely insane. No one thought this would open this much. Like, the early tracking for this movie was at 60, 50, 70. I even projected it would open at 60 a month or two ago, and then I projected it would open at 140, but it came in at 155. That is just unthinkable. Who would have thought that this would have opened at 155? The Barbenheimer event really helped out both movies. A lot of people say it helped out Oppenheimer, but I think it helped out both movies because it got people out to see this big screen event of both movies at the same time. And I think Margot Robbie brought in so many different females. Ryan Gosling brought in so many different males. And just the whole movie, it's just a fun experience to just go sit back, watch this movie, and then go see another movie, or just watch this movie alone like many people did. But this opening is really high. It's higher than a lot of people thought, and I think that it's going to do super well. I'm not sure how leggy this one be because it's mostly female driven. It's 70% female right now. And a lot of those movies don't have a lot of legs at the box office, but I think this one might be an exemption. I think this one will have pretty good legs because over the next coming weeks, it doesn't have a lot of big competition. The only competition it has for the next 2 or 3 weeks would be Haunted Mansion, Talk to Me, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and Gran Turismo. But I think this movie is very different from all those movies. The only movie I see this kind of being the same would be Haunted Mansion, but I think that movie is going to flop, sadly, even though I'm pretty excited for it. It's just another Disney movie that a lot of people aren't really wanting to go see. Warner Bros. Is probably happy, though, because they have their first hit of the year with Barbie. A lot of their movies have been flopping. Even though this is doing super well, I don't think this is going to make up for all the money that they have lost this year because they've lost a lot of money. And this is perfect, but they still have a lot more movies that have to do successful to even make a profit this year because they're at a decline for this year. They're losing a lot of money. But Barbie, fantastic opening. But now we get to our next one. Oppenheimer blew up industry's projections, and it opened with 80.5 million. 3-day weekend. It's its biggest opening. It's the biggest for an original film in Christopher Nolan's career, beating Inception at 62.8 million, and it's the biggest for any rated R film post-COVID, beating John Wick 4 73.8 million. This is insane. I think this is a bigger news story than Barbie because no one thought Oppenheimer would open to 80.5 million. It's a 3-hour movie, rated R, and it's a biopic about Oppenheimer. A lot of schools didn't teach you about Oppenheimer, and Nolan just brought you a feast of a movie about him. 3-hour movie about Oppenheimer, and this has got to do with, I think, its big reviews. It's 95% Rotten Tomatoes, and it also has to do with Barbie. Barbie contributed to Oppenheimer, while Oppenheimer also contributed to Barbie. A lot of people went to double feature. I myself went to a double feature. I've seen both twice right now, and I want to go see them again before the next movies come out this coming week because I got a lot of review this coming week. But Oppenheimer, man, what a fantastic film, and a lot of people are going. If you look at the theaters by you, and you have an IMAX theater by you, the IMAX seats are sold out for the next 2 weeks. Even my seats, all the good seats are sold out for the next week and a half. I think this is absolutely insane again, but I think this is really cool how Christopher Nolan has just gained such a popularity that he can just draw an audience in, and this movie is sold as an IMAX movie and everyone listened to him. It's being seen in IMAX, so that's the only way to see it, to get the full picture, the best sound possible, and you want the best sound for his movies. And I think Warner Bros. Really did lose them on this movie. Warner Bros. Did have their hit with Barbie, but Universal, they're really hitting it out of the park this year with their small hits, but now they have their biggest hit of the year with Oppenheimer, 80.5 million. Come on. And then I think it did 155 million worldwide, and it only is on a $100 million production budget and probably a small marketing budget. This is insane. They're going to make a lot of money off that movie. Barbie and Oppenheimer just did so well playing off against each other. I'm so proud of the movie business and how it's doing. Everyone having a fun time in the movie theaters. It's insane, but we have a sad story. Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning only grossed 19.5 million on its second 3-day weekend, and it dropped 64%. That is not good. I think Paramount really just did not give us a good date. I think Tom Cruise probably is a little upset with this. If they were to put this in August, mid-August, I think this would have done so much better and would have maybe ended with like 300 million domestically, but it's now only going to end with maybe 200 million. This is just horrible because this is a fantastic action movie. Such a pleasure watching this in IMAX, but it only had IMAX theaters for like 8 or 9 days. It's incredibly sad. Hopefully Paramount can give part 2 a better date. But, you know, this movie is just not going to make a profit with its huge budget because COVID inflated the budget a lot. So I wish this would have done better, but Paramount, I think, is the one to blame for this. I don't know if Tom Cruise chose the date or Paramount chose the date or if it was collaboration, but they really should have put this in August or September. July was just not a good day because you had 2 big movies just a week after it. And worldwide, it's probably going to be lucky to hit 700 million. So they're just going to lose a decent bit of money on that one, which is kind of upsetting. But, you know, Paramount really, they messed it up. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse crossed 675 million at the worldwide box office. And this was also on a production budget of 100 million. So this movie is making tons of profit. And it's going to end almost close, if not get to 700 million worldwide, which is just crazy. I think the first one did like 350 million worldwide. This one ended up doubling it almost. Like, can you believe that? That just means that you got to make movies that are just such good quality that people want to see them and have a cult following against it. Because Into the Spider-Verse was small. I saw it in theaters and not a lot of people did. But it gained such a cult following after the 4 or 5 years it was out. So now Across the Spider-Verse opened so well. Its legs were the best of the year, I think, so far. We'll see if anything else has better legs than this. But Beyond the Spider-Verse is probably not going to come out for another 3 to 4 years. So this is going to gain such a big following with kids growing up. So Beyond Spider-Verse could get close to that $1 billion mark, I think, when it does eventually come out in a long time. Our last little box office story. Overseas, Pixar's Elemental grossed spectacular 18.3 million on its 6th weekend. Only a 35% drop. And it's it's 356 million global cum at the box office so far, and it's eyeing a 420 million to 500 million global run. You know, this movie was doomed to fail, I think, from Disney's marketing budget, and I reviewed this movie. I think it's a great movie. I give it like an 8 out of 10, and its opening weekend was very bad. It was horrible, but its legs are just great. It has the best legs of the year under Across the Spider-Verse, and the animated films are just thriving with this and Spider-Verse. And it's actually not going to lose too much money if it gets to 500 million. So I hope Pixar and Disney are at least a little happier with that. Word of mouth was great on this one because Disney really screwed it up with this horrible marketing. I mean, the trailers were fine, but they really didn't sell the film at what it was, which is like basically a Pixar's romance film. And I thought it did so well as a Pixar's romance film. And its legs are unreal. You know, it's going to make a decent amount of money, but it has a huge budget, which Disney inflated the budget on this one. I don't know why. Because how does Spider-Verse have a $100 million budget, but this has like a $250 budget, $200 million budget? Like, tell me why that is, Disney. Why are you inflating the budget so much? But this one's not going to make profit, I don't think. It might get close when it goes on to digital. A lot of people will buy it. But 500 million global run, if it gets to it, I think that's great. Word of mouth is doing great. Hopefully Pixar's next film can get marketed better. But I think this is great. But overall, the box office this weekend is thriving. It's thriving a lot, and I'm so happy to see it. Barbie and Oppenheimer did the best. We'll see how those do in next week in their legs, how their drops will be, because Haunted Mansion and Talk to Me both come out. A good horror movie to basically coincide with a biopic and a basically comedy movie, which is Barbie. So I'm excited to see what a horror movie can do, how it can shake it up. I'll be seeing both of those. I'll have reviews out hopefully for both of those, but I'll be covering the box office. Leave your thoughts down below. What you think of the box office this week? Did you see Barbie? Did you see Oppenheimer? What do you think of them? Make sure to leave a like, subscribe. I post almost every day, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.